The Fox and the Stork.
Once upon a time, in a quiet little forest, there lived a clever fox. The fox loved to play tricks on others, and he thought he was the smartest animal around. Not far away lived a tall and graceful stork, who was gentle and polite to everyone she met. One day, the fox decided to play a trick on his friend the stork. The fox said, "My dear friend Stork, why don't you come to my house for dinner tonight? I'll cook something very tasty just for you." The stork, happy to be invited, nodded and replied politely, "Thank you, fox. I will gladly come." When evening came, the stork arrived at the fox's house. The table was set with candles and the smell of the food filled the room. But when the stork looked at the meal, she was surprised. The fox had served soup in a flat, shallow plate. The fox licked up the soup easily with his tongue, but the poor stork, with her long, narrow beak, could not even drink a single drop. She tapped and tapped the plate, but nothing worked. The fox laughed and said, "Oh, dear stork, aren't you hungry? Why don't you eat?" The stork felt embarrassed, but she remained calm. She quietly finished her visit and went home thinking, "I will teach the fox a lesson in my own way." The next day, the stork invited the fox to her home. She said kindly, "Fox, please come to my house tomorrow. I will cook something very special just for you." The fox, greedy and curious, agreed at once. When the fox arrived at the stork's home, the table was beautifully set. In the center stood a tall, narrow jar filled with delicious soup. The stork dipped her long beak into the jar and sipped the soup easily. But the fox, with his short snout, could not fit inside the jar at all. He sniffed, pawed, and tried to lick the outside of the jar, but he couldn't get a single taste. Now it was the fox's turn to feel embarrassed. The stork smiled politely and said, "I invited you to dinner, my friend. Please enjoy the soup." The fox finally understood how it felt to be tricked. And so the clever fox learned an important lesson. Just as he had played the trick on the stork had shown him how unkind it felt. From that day on, the fox never tried to fool his friends again. Moral of the story: treat others the way you want to be treated. If you like the story, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. See you again. Bye.